Before we continue with the Battlefield 1 podcast, I have a real quick announcement. Absolutely pleased to announce that Steam Dolls Order of Chaos can now be purchased for early access on Steam. What is Steam Dolls? Steam Dolls is a brand new indie-developed Metroidvania slasher game made by the two-man development team, The Shady Gentlemen. Set in a dystopian, steampunk-style future, it features stunning and gory visuals, a robust combat system, and a storyline shrouded in mystery that should have you hooked from the second you finish the tutorial. The game features a star-studded cast comprised of Metal Gear franchise veteran actors David Hayter, Christopher Randolph, and Jennifer Hale comprising of the main cast, alongside Kat Peterson, Laura K. Welsh, and of course, myself in supporting roles. For now, the game is only on Steam, but once early access build is complete, it is slated for full console release. That's Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. So if the above has piqued your interest in any manner, or if you want to help support me in my career or help support other actors in their careers currently going on, head on over to Steam and search for Steam Dolls Order of Chaos, check out the demo, and support the devs with a review and some feedback if you wish. Thank you for your time, and now back to the show. Where's my mouse so I can stop this infernal machine?
But then when you've got Angel screaming, Angel does it again. And
that was something, right?
That was something.
I'm sorry, you canceled the support for the game a month ago.
Why would they even host a trade?
I don't know.
And I sit down and he picks up one donut and eats it. So you want to QA games?
When the rubber meets the road, they're going to be like, oh my god, I don't like seeing Mario get his skull smashed.
Oh, I would love to see
doesn't
that.
work.
I would love to see
Yeah,
that.
again, like I said.
Welcome to Battlefield 1 Podcast, the ultimate podcast about your favorite first-person shooter franchise, Battlefield. My name is Tom, also known as Dalanke Soldier. This is not my third attempt to do this intro. I'm the captain of this majestic blue and orange ship. Battlefield colors, all that kind of stuff, the usual. And I'm being joined by my co-host, who is part of Florida's Alligator Special Forces, Ray Edmonds. How you doing, Ray?
I prefer to call myself a swamp operator, thank you.
Oh, sorry, Swamp Operator in Special Forces, whatever. How you doing, boy?
Hey, you got that intro right on the first try, my man.
Oh
Congratulations.
yeah. Let's pretend this is my
very
first
first
try.
go.
Yeah. I'm so good. Yes. Everyone should know that.
You're learning from me. I'm so proud.
That was life, right?
I mean, it's going good. I mean, I'm still excited about a lot of stuff that's going on. I'm excited about things that are possibly coming down the road. And hey, I applied for an agent. We're gonna see if that goes through. Good stuff. 2025 is gonna be a decent year for me, in spite of a lot of shit. So we're gonna make it work. Anyway.
You have any pussy around you?
No.
Well, no pussy, no cats around you.
No, I was gonna say, my man, I'm married. No cats currently.
Pussycat, you sick fuck.
They are all asleep. I'm American. What do you expect? No, all of my fur babies are asleep, and they're out in the living room while wifey is doing her stream and doing her thing. So she's kind of keeping them occupied. It's good stuff. Eventually, my fat cat will wake up and realize I'm not out there, though.
Yeah, I'm expecting my cat to meow any moment now, so it's fine. He's gonna probably on the table. Yeah, he's gonna be on the table during recording for sure. Anyway, I'm just realizing the intro I did. The blue and orange color kind of doesn't make sense anymore because Battlefield is changing its colors to dark gray to orange and with the white text. So I guess with time we could update it, but I don't know. Well, so far it's still blue and orange for now. Blue and orange for now.
Right. I like it like that, so
Yeah. Anyway, so welcome to the show, a show where we discuss Battlefield and only Battlefield, whether it's negative or positive. We'll have, putting our opinions on the internet for people to listen and pretend that we have some sort of impact on society and more importantly the Battlefield community. So we have an amazing episode for you all today, even though there's nothing much happened in the last 3 weeks since the Battlefield Labs announcement. But there's stuff to talk about, there's stuff came out, some opinions to discuss, all that kind of stuff. So
come with the expectations of good content. Leave with the expectations that anything we say carries any weight.
Hey. Let's pretend it carries some weight and the society is much better with our opinions. Let's hope. I want to believe that.
I like to think that we don't carry tons of weight, but I'm sure we're up there. I like to think that at least. And that's not being arrogant. That's just wishful thinking based on previous analytical
positivity.
data.
You know, positivity. I want to keep this podcast positive. I remember when
Yes.
the first ever episode of this repeated show, I literally said I want to keep the positivity going. I don't want to focus on the negativity too much because all other podcasts and shows were doing like literally just negative stuff, and I'm like,
No. We just
Enough.
have brushes with negativity, like brushes with death. It's just once in a great while. I mean, it's kind of fun sometimes when you look back on it, but at the time, it's you know what I mean. Or maybe it's the other way around.
yeah. But anyway, so
Anyway.
before we continue, so just have to say a bit of housekeeping. So we have time codes, so if you don't have to listen to the whole thing, you want to listen to a specific time, like specific topic on the specific show, time codes exist there for a reason. Use them. Also leave a rating on Spotify because it does matter. It does help out.
The
Or
algorithm requires engagement.
iTunes, like I don't know if Amazon Music has rating. I don't know. I know Apple Podcasts and Spotify has it. And well,
I am fairly certain they all operate off of engagement, retention, and everything else, just like it, because
That
YouTube
too.
wrote the book on that. Let's just be real here. So
that too.
yeah.
So, also, people, I can see it. I can see you listening. 75% of you do listen beyond the 30-minute mark. So, if you are, you can spend 4 seconds to leave a rating. You can do that. I believe in you. I believe in you.
We would appreciate it.
We really
Is
appreciate
what we're
it.
trying to say.
Yeah.
We're not gonna hold you hostage and go do it, or we're not gonna do content
I mean,
anymore.
it depends on the person. I might hold him hostage. Depends on the person. Anyway, so follow our socials, of course. There's a Google Forms document in the description. So if you want to give us feedback about the podcast, what kind of horrible intro I just did, what kind of sexy host we are, or whatever the case may be, send us insults or whatever. So use the Google Forms document in the description. Just click, start writing, and just send. That's it. You don't need any account. You don't need any social media, whatever. You don't need to send an email. Use that Google Forms document description, and yeah, that's it. It's there to communicate with us directly. Give us the feedback that is on your mind, or ask us questions, whatever the case may be. Some people did and everything, so that's great. So please continue doing that. Use the Google Forms document for feedback, questions, and all that kind of stuff, and we'll address them in the future episodes. And of course, the Patreon. So Ray, remember our last Patreon episode we did?
Well, now you're gonna make me pull the notes up so that I legitimately have to remember everything.
To be fair, we did record 40 plus episodes in the last year. So I will get you to help you out here. We did extra reactions about Battlefield Labs. We talked about the game.
See, I knew it had to be pertaining to Labs because Labs has been the only thing that we've been talking about basically for almost the last 3 weeks now.
Yeah, you don't have to
so
pretend.
yeah,
We
we
do
kind of
shit
gave
like
our
that.
ideas on what Battlefield Labs kind of needs to do in order to actually be similar, if not close to what CTE originally was. We kind of hammered on some of the fine points of, how things are kind of not making sense, that aspects are behind NDA, or the whole thing is under NDA, or that the whole entire deal would be under NDA. That kind of makes it kind of pointless because, again, you want as much feedback, you want as many people with eyes in on the thing as humanly possible. We touched on a lot of things and brought up a lot of things that worked very well with CTE back in the day, and we also put a passive invite out to a good buddy of ours in order to come back and talk to us again. Cough, nudge, nudge. So that being said, if that piques your interest and strikes your fancy, by all means, head on over to the Patreon site and check it out. It's content well worth your time.
I think we did an amazing episode because both of us, I want to say disagreed about something, but it's just like there was a conversation happening, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting because we actually discussed stuff like
Haha,
properly.
chuff, chuff, puff up chest there. Oh, good, baby.
Yeah, so patreon.com/TheLankaSoldier, check it out because we do have some amazing episodes and so on, and it also behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. So cool. Also use the free trial. So free trial is there for a reason, to make your I would not offer a free trial if I did not believe we're not offering something good and you're gonna stay in the long run.
We do everything we can to mitigate the potential of buyer's remorse.
It's okay. It's only $7.
It's true. I mean, think about it. We don't want you to. We want you to. If you're gonna support us financially, even if it is just $1 a month, like we want you to get what you feel is worth the dollar. Even though arguably some people out there are like, dude, it's worth more than that. But $1's $1. Yeah. If we got 1,000 people to kick in $1, be good stuff. We could do better stuff. That's all we're saying. Tell your friends. Tell your family. LankySoldier.com, like Patreon.com/LankySoldier. Just go do the thing.
Just do your thing. Right, so let's talk about Battlefield. So, quick mention, I guess. I don't know what to say it. So there's some rewards on Battlefield 2042, whatever, don't care. But I did play Battlefield 2042 with a little favorite German friend, Andre. So that was interesting. So remember when we did the beginner's guide to for new players, for Battlefield? Was it 2 episodes ago, 28?
Yeah, the 101 tips, tricks, and basics
Yeah.
for the beginners. Yeah.
So, and I mentioned that the game is on, like all Battlefield games, like on sale for like $1 or $2, whatever. So Andre bought Battlefield 2042 for like $5, and we played. We played maybe like 4 rounds, maybe, and it was an experience. I mean, he did not hate it, so that's a good sign that he did not hate it. I remember,
But he ain't writing home about it either.
right? Yeah, I don't know. We had fun. The most fun we had is when me and him decide to like run the vehicles, literally like try to hog the tank, and like him or me repairing the tank. Someone's driving and someone's repairing and being the gun, all that kind of stuff. Bringing that old-fashioned Battlefield adventure. And
Bringing the old school stuff back. Yeah.
oh,
Old days.
right, just the fact that you can get out of the tank and keep repairing it, physically, it's such a simple yet amazing thing. It's like we did not have that back in Battlefield, like when Battlefield 2042 came out, and since they added specialists into classes and they sorted some gadgets and so on so certain characters can always have them, it's such a game changer. Just simple thing like that, it's just such a game changer. Like, do I still think Battlefield 2042 is not a great Battlefield game? Yeah, I still think that. But after all the updates, after they did everything to the game, I did say that they should just kept going with the seasons and everything. But there's no point to talking about that now. I think, listen, for $5, I think it's a nice investment for you. Like, anyone that never played Battlefield like in their lives, I think they'll be fine because the game works, everything is working as it's supposed to be, and it somewhat has that Battlefield formula in it. It still has big player battles, vehicles, all that kind of stuff. It still has that Battlefield feeling to it in some shape or form. It's not the perfect Battlefield feeling out there for sure, but you know what? For $5, for anyone that never played Battlefield game, Battlefield 2042 is fine. It's fine.
It's not beef Wellington. It's just beef.
It's just, I guess, nicely baked beef, I guess.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's not beef Wellington. It's like roast beef. That's about all there is to it. Okay, and I mean roast beef is fine. I enjoy that as a meal, but beef Wellington is the next step up. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying here. It's. I know what's going to wind up happening when I do get my new PC in is I'm probably going to re-download the Game Pass version of 2042, and I'm probably going to give it another fair chance at it because a lot of my problems that I had with it initially was just mostly on my ancient-ass hardware. I mean, I'm just going to be real here. Because my hardware is still pretty much like mid-early PS4 era, so it wasn't the best experience in the world. Now, that might change when I get my updated computer. It might not, excuse me. So my opinions might change a little bit, but I don't think they're going to change real drastically. I don't think I'm going to fire that game up, go 4 or 5 rounds, and be like, "Oh my God, what was I saying this whole time?" I don't. Mm-hmm. I sincerely don't think that's going to be the thing.
Don't get me wrong. I still hate Battlefield 2042 with passion for many different reasons. Don't get me wrong. I still hate the game with passion. But when I don't give a damn and I just want to play something with my friend wants to play it, I'm like, okay, sure, you know what? No pressure, no nothing. Let's just launch the game. Let's just play.
Turning my brain off and having fun.
Yeah, let's just do our best. And it was fine. I have no problem with it. It's like, it was fine. We had some fun. We had some good tank runs, and it was fine. And we did not even touch 128 players servers. We played 64 only, And it was great. It was fine. Like, sure, whatever. Battlefield 2042 is not a horrible disease as it used to be. You know?
No, and
What?
I mean, it's amazing how much, and I'm sure like there's some people that could probably go back to like right around when 2042 launched and listen to our opinions on it, and they're probably gonna be like, "Hey, I got your
Oh,
opinions
dude,
were
there's a
fuck."
video.
And I agree, they were harsh. We were pretty harsh on that game at the beginning, but it deserved it in a way.
There's a video of me on YouTube literally talking about it for a whole hour about Battlefield 2042. And I still stand by that video. I still stand by all the things I say in that video. Like, Battlefield 2042 was fucking shit. Like, it was shit. No sugarcoating. It was absolute garbage.
It was not the best. It was not what it should. It's not. I don't want to say it's not what it should have been. It's not what it could have been. The game, it still has a lot of potential to it because at its core, at its base, it's not bad. It's just everything's just not from what I remember playing it, everything just doesn't execute the way it should. It just doesn't flow the way that it should. The whole specialist thing just kind of really just tears away a lot of base elements of the game that I used to enjoy. Like, again, squad composition with classes and everything. Now it doesn't matter. That always irritated the snot out of me. But like I said, I don't know. I mean, things might have changed. I think it's been about a good 8 months since I've played that damn game. So I mean, there's a lot that's been updated and changed in that time frame. So I might come back with a more positive opinion. I probably will. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it probably ain't going to be like, oh my god.
Oh my god. So
I've been wrong this whole time. Oh golly.
When you're gonna get your new PC, I think we should do like a retrospective of Battlefield 2042.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, like
Definitely.
It could be an episode, an interesting episode in like a month or two. I think we should do that because
it just gives me a little bit of time in order to get a little bit more reacquainted with where it's at, it's at now, and everything like that. Because I mean, that I do feel like that has been kind of a bit of a detriment to this the whole entire time, is because only one of the two of us has been able to actually like somewhat religiously play the goddamn game. Because 2042 turns my PC into a toaster.
Religiously is a strong word here.
Okay, consistently.
Even that,
and even then, that's probably still too strong.
I did check. I do have 200 something hours in that game somehow. Somehow.
But I mean, again, there's other games that I'm going to change my opinion on too, because I'm going to be running with newer hardware. So again, probably not many are going to change opinions of, because I mean, my PC's not potato, but it's it is 10 years old.
Right, moving on. I was thinking about if I want to mention this, but so going back on the Battlefield 1 archive, old episodes that we did. So if anyone that doesn't know, if you're a new listener here, I post. So this is what you're listening is a rebooted show. Back in 2014, 16, 15, whatever, we used to have Battlefield 1 podcast, and we did 41 episodes, I think. And
it was a completely different animal.
Yeah, so we were doing Battlefield podcast. We had like 4 people, 5 people on. We had some guests and so on. Like it was a production, right? It was Now, of course, 10 plus years later, those episodes are cringe. They're garbage. But it's interesting to re-listen what we were saying.
I wouldn't say they were garbage. That's a little harsh. Okay, they were lowbrow.
Okay, lowbrow. Sure, let's go with that. And I already posted episode 6 on Spotify. So if you listen to this podcast, you probably saw the episode 6 of Battlefield 1 archive already being posted. And I listened to it because I have to, because I need to make sure that nothing we said was dumb sometimes, because we did say some stupid stuff.
Bro, how are you even posting the episodes then?
Yeah, that too, yeah. So anyway, and I want to mention that episode was probably the starting point for me when I started to... Okay, that episode 6 of Battlefield 1 podcast, back then, was the starting point when we started to become somewhat more professional. We were still idiots, and we literally said we had no topics for that episode. We would just shot anything that stuck to the wall. And since that episode, I think that was the moment where I decided, to handpick the guests I want on the podcast. And the reason for that is because we had one of the EA mods. When I say EA mods, I'm talking like forum moderators, right? on the podcast. Remember LOL got your tags?
Oh, I remember that.
Right.
Yeah, that was. I was supposed to be there for that, but I wasn't.
No, you were.
That
You
was-
were.
Oh, I was. Oh God, I was. There was one. Oh, who was the one that I missed though? I can't remember.
There was some. Anyway, and that was the first
when you
episode. That was the first episode
Anyway,
where Dark Ethereal came back. So that was funny. Anyway, so that was the episode when I started to handpick okay. After that recording, that's why I decided that I want to handpick the guests, because I'm sorry. Listen, Tags, if you're listening, I doubt you are.
We love you, dude, but that is a disaster. That episode.
I'm
is
sorry,
A disaster. We still laugh about.
He
to this day.
he acted like a dick. My dude was just not into, like, he was not in there. He was just playing, ignoring us, and so on. And I had to like get something out of him. Sure, we were having a fun laugh, trying to make this into
You know
somewhat.
what's funny though? I don't remember that one as okay. I kind of remember that one as one of our worst episodes, but I think the absolute worst episode we ever did back in the day was one we did where we had like 6 different people. on all
It
same
was
shot.
the Battlefront reaction or something like that.
Yeah, dude, and it was bad. I mean, there was no consistency, nothing coherent was said. It was just 6 dudes yelling at each other for an hour and a half, and if you sat through that mess, God bless you. You deserve a medal. More so than what you deserve for
Yeah.
sitting and listening through us now, because it's crazy just how far we've fucking come when it comes to that.
Yeah, and it's just so funny. And also, what I found about these old episodes is how everything is literally not history repeating itself, but it rhymes, right? The history rhymes. And everything, for example, we talked about Dark, for example, on that episode. He mentioned how audience doesn't give a shit about CTE back in Battlefield 4, right? They don't give a shit. Why would they give a shit about that kind of stuff? But we're talking about Zavod Graveyard shit having a bug or audio bug, crashes or whatever. Like, why the casual audience would give a shit about anything we discuss? And you know what's funny? I thinking about this now, right, as I listen to that, and I was curious what people outside the Battlefield community think about Battlefield Labs, right? What's the reaction there? Was there any hype? And so on. And you know what? Outside the Battlefield community, no one gives a shit about Battlefield Labs. So it's the same history. It's not repeating itself, but it just rhymes. I find that
Right.
so
Well, I mean,
interesting.
CTE and community testing and stuff like that. Let's be real and actually think about this objectively for a second. It's a niche thing that only select people have any remote amount of interest in doing. And when I say that, I don't mean it's like it's like a chore or something. It's people look at it as a matter of time. Do I want to just play this game because I want to play this game, or do I want to play this game because I really love the franchise and I want to contribute further? Like, that's 2 different mindsets of players right there. So that being a fact, doesn't surprise me one bit that, okay, most of the general player base doesn't really give a shit. Most of anybody outside of the player base at all, period, point blank, and across any other franchise, doesn't really give a shit. Because to be honest with you, now it's not really anything new. I mean, it's not a nothing burger, but it's not anything brand new either. I mean, and we also don't know that much about it either, like how it's going to be executed. I mean, me personally speaking, again, the fact that it's locked down under NDA right now, that kind of really upsets me. That's kind of silly. I really wish it wasn't like that. But again, I say this as somebody who's not even involved with it. And probably now that I've talked about the NDA and shat all over it, I probably never will now, so But I don't care. I mean, that's the point of it, though.
Speaking of NDA, for people still wondering if invites or whatever came out. As far as I know, there were no invites sent to the public audience, to the public general audience, right? As far as I know, there were no invites sent or whatever. So we can talk about whatever we want to talk about because nothing was signed, nothing was agreed on. Nothing was sent out. It was just like...
I know, but you know how corporate, how
Yeah. You should subscribe to
let's be real
Patreon.com.
here.
We talked about that, exactly.
I am fairly positive maybe somebody in the brass of EA is probably checking out every single bit of content related to the damn game, and we're coming up, I guarantee it. Now, that's not coming saying as arrogance, that's just, saying that EA is doing their market research, because they do, regardless whether people see it or not. It's a fact. And yes, you're welcome, person who is listening to this for that exact reason. We see you.
For the spoiler alert for the people that will subscribe to Patreon to listen to that episode, we do not agree with NDA because it makes no sense
At all.
We do not agree with it. We had a good conversation about it. I think 15-20 minute discussion just talking about how the hell we're gonna cover this.
And what it boiled down
in
to
the
was
future?
basically is we understand why it's a thing. We hope that it's something that stays just for the first stage of this, because after the initial run of this, it doesn't really make any sense, and it goes against the whole spirit of it. It really does. The whole point of community testing is to have a community with which to test in. If you take and you lock out feedback and everything, or you lock it to a specific spot, that's really undercutting the whole point of trying to grow a community. If you want a plant to grow, it needs more than one root. What you're doing by putting everything under NDA is essentially you're hoping it grows like one giant root, like a damned carrot, and that's not how the original CTE worked, is what we're getting at. Just to kind of sum it up short and sweet.
Hey there, listener. I hope you enjoyed the discussion we're having right now. Before we continue, like I said at the start of the episode, I will tell you all about our amazing Patreon that is helping us keeping the show going. Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier.
Some Patreon exclusive list. We here at Patreon would love for
You sound like every nerd in all the 90s TV shows.
First, I want to thank every single person that joined as a free member or subscribed to our Patreon in the last year. The support was amazing and only motivates us to continue with our Battlefield adventure.
He does this knowing full well how much I hate AI generated shit. He does this on purpose.
This is what we call capitalism.
This is his way of getting my ass in order to just make money real quick out of nowhere to buy a fucking webcam.
By becoming a patron as a free member or subscribing to any tier, you're not only supporting the show, but you're also getting a lot of content back. By subscribing to any tier, you'll get ad-free early access to all our future episodes. You can already listen to our previous episodes ad-free by just joining the Patreon as a free member. No more waiting, no more interruptions, just pure, unfiltered Battlefield content straight to your ears before anyone else gets to hear it. We're also giving you behind-the-scenes look what goes into making Battlefield 1 podcast or any other content we're producing. From planning sessions to recording mistakes and everything in between, you'll get an insider's perspective of how we bring each episode to life. And the reason why I'm saying
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's all my fault.
It's all your f***ing fault, Ray. You ruined the whole show. We need to cancel it again.
Just can it for another 8 months again. Just appear out of nowhere with
Yeah, we need to
different
cancel
set
it
of
again.
colors.
Ray, what the f*** did you do? And that's only Battlefield. We're also offering access to our exclusive Patreon podcast series, Live Gaming Gathering. This is a show where me and my friends gather together to talk about everything in the video game industry, to movies, to anything else that is on our minds. With more than 30 episodes already available, this is hours and hours of content for you to listen. Trust me, they are the most fun and amazing conversations we ever had because it's just us being us, relaxed and actually having fun.
All right, I think we need to move on because we've been kind of on this subject for about the last 15 minutes now.
Yeah.
We got a couple of things in order.
Are you feeling better now? Let this
Yes,
team off.
Yeah, you got that
I
off
do
your
feel
chest.
I do feel better. Oh no, wait, one more thing. For example, Angelo. No, we were in
I'm not
discussion.
going to mention any names.
We also believe in keeping our patrons informed, so I'll post monthly updates to let you know what you expect in the upcoming month. So we'll always know what you expect in the future if you're not sure about the content we're posting. And just recently, we opened a new Discord server where people can talk to each other and get all the latest updates about our content or the Lanky Soldier channel. Please find a link to that Discord in the description of this episode or our Patreon. No subscription needed for that. And because we're confident that you'll love the content we're creating, we offer a free trial that you can use anytime. We believe we're making good content that will make you stay in the long term, and we will not be offering free trials if I do not believe that.
Do y'all hear that, major advertisers that aren't listening right now? You can do tasteful ad breaks.
Battlefield 1 podcast was rebooted back in March 2023. We learned a lot of lessons from our previous shows that consist of 41 episodes, and we've been building an amazing foundations for the future of this current show. There's a reason why we're the best Battlefield-related podcast available on Spotify Spotify, and everywhere else. So if you want to support the show and get all these amazing extras, go to patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep delivering the content you enjoy. Thank you for being part of our small Battlefield community, and we look forward to seeing you on Patreon. Now, let's go back to the show. Yeah, pretty much. And it's so funny how my opinions change, for example, having if Battlefield needs a single-player game, single-player part of the game, whatever. Back then I said, nah, Battlefield doesn't need a single-player. It's so funny how my tune has changed. And for example, I'm looking at Delta Force right now, as in, originally Delta Force was supposed to have a paid single player, with the remastered Black Hawk Down game, or whatever, missions, whatever you want to call them. Single player, right? Yeah. I remember I played as, as a child, I don't know, when was it, 20 years ago? And I remember I had fun, and I'm just looking at the footage, and apparently they made the single player free to play. So they removed the paid section of the thing. You don't have to pay, that's fine. Just download the game and play the single player. And I'm like, huh. But not the point. The point, I'm just looking at the single player footage, right? How they remastered the game and so on. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I do want my AAA first-person shooters to have some sort of single player component to them. Whether it be a remaster of an old game from 20 years ago, or something new. It's so funny how my opinion changed over those, in the last decade. Back then, I literally, on the Battlefield 1 podcast, I literally said, I don't want Battlefield to have a single player because I don't really care about the single player. And now, 10 years later...
Now you've come to my side.
Yeah, now 10 years... Yeah, now I'm on your side. I'm like, you know what? No.
You have now succumbed to the argument of the single-player campaign.
Execute order single player.
But it needs to be there. I've said it. I will always forever say it. There needs to be context to things. And it's one big thing that I kind of hated about 2042, is there was just no context to what the hell was going on. None. No overall big context. Just here's the thing. It barely explained, barely elaborated on anything. Why would I care? And I get the actor for Irish passed away, and that probably put a hamper on a lot of things. But I mean, if you're that, and I don't mean to say this insultive, as you know what I mean, because I'm not a writer, but if you're versatile enough as a writer, you should be able to figure that out. In a war game, are you kidding me? You couldn't figure out a way to explain what happened to Irish?
Also, can I bitch about that a little bit? So, first and foremost, that Exodus cinematic for Battlefield 2042, best thing ever that came out of the game.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was brilliant. I was so excited with that.
But, you know what pisses me off so much? And whoever it was the writer that decided to do that, F you. Why did you kill off Pac? In the most dumbest way possible. Like, again,
I know, and you know what's funny? They could have, if they wouldn't have done that, that would have helped things out along after the fact, especially considering Irish's actor passed away, because Pac's actor is still alive.
Yeah.
That's the other wild part about it. Like, that... killing off a character for no reason, and it was just arbitrary.
Was no reason.
Why?
No reason to kill off Pac. No fucking reason.
And I mean, unless the guy didn't, and I mean, yeah, the actor even came back to. Wait, did he even have voice lines in that? I don't even remember.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had a fucking conversation with Irish.
Yeah, so it's like you couldn't. So it's not like you couldn't get the actor to come back for it. Like, it did not make any damn sense, and it was just. You guys got an emotional gut punch out of us, because if that's what you were after, and solely what you were after, I'm sorry, that just don't. That's wrong. But you get what I mean. It just like it was a gut punch just to be a gut punch. There was no point to it. And now the other side of the argument is, playing devil's advocate, that possibly potentially could have been explained later on if they would have continued with like cinematics and stuff like we thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to just do this like whole like 5 to 10 minute cinematic thing like once a season or once a month or a couple every so many weeks or something like that to kind of explain what was going on with the story, in spite of not having a damn single player campaign to explain what the hell was going on. But it just never came to fruition for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't care about, I understand what they're trying to go, like, Pac sacrificed himself to save Irish and so on, and the kid, and like, fine, that's fine, but why it had to be done in such dumb way? He's just standing looking while taking shots like a hero. I'm like, just so corny and dumb. Stop. I hate
Like Michael Bay directed that.
No.
specific
Michael
spot.
Bay would actually put some effort into the killing.
No. I'm talking about like late Michael Bay, not like early Michael Bay would put effort into that. Like Michael Bay nowadays, no.
Listen,
You gotta differentiate.
at least Michael Bay would put a show to it. But for example, what's his name?
True.
What's his name? The Miller. That's his name? I don't know. The guy. He was in Transformers. He was in the first Deadpool, right? He was that fucking bar guy.
T.J. Miller, yeah.
T.J. Miller. Yeah, T.J. Miller. So apparently, there was beef between T.J. Miller and Michael Bay on the fourth Transformers movie, or was it fifth? No, it was fourth. The Age of Extinction, right? Something
I've
like that.
lost count of how many damn
Yeah,
Transformers.
whatever. Not important. So they had beef or whatever, and he killed him off because Michael Bay just had enough of him. So he just killed him off. So
Fuck
he killed.
you.
Yeah, he killed him off in the movie, right? And he just so you know how Transformers transform into vehicles and so on, right? So
Right.
So the Decepticon that killed him transformed into Michael Bay's Ferrari or Porsche. I can't remember what car was it. Basically, they used this car as a reference just to like shit on T.J. Miller in the movie. It's like he will do some extra petty shit just to make it more interesting. And that's like, listen, if you're gonna kill off a character, for no reason, at least do something that is like makes some sense of it. Pack dying.
Yeah, I
that's
say that as a person who just sat and played through a game that kills off a lot of characters.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was so annoyed that they killed Pac. But anyway, that being said, ignoring all that, it's so funny how my opinion changed about the Battlefield single player in general, because I personally want to experience a Battlefield single player title, like a really good one, right? Now, I said many episodes ago, and I'm still stand by that point. This single player they're making for the next Battlefield game, I put 75% or 80%, 80%, that it's not gonna be good. It's not. It might look good. It might look cinematic, all that good stuff, but it will not be a good single player component of the game. It might explain, it will set up the setting, I guess, the context. It will give some context, sure, but I have a feeling it's not gonna be a good single player game, which kind of annoys me. I love to be surprised. I hope I am wrong. I hope Motive is gonna do something good with that Battlefield single player, but please forgive me if I don't have any hope whatsoever of this being good. Because since the Ridgeline Studios got closed, since Marcos Leto left the studio on bad terms with EA, I just have no... What's the word?
No faith.
No faith, I guess, yeah. I'm not optimistic about it. I'm just not optimistic that this is gonna be good, which sucks so much. But again, if they're gonna nail it and it's gonna be a really good single player, you know what? I'll give my share fair, of applause and everything to them, because if they can do it, but I just don't think it will be good.
My biggest
Signs on
hope
that day.
is that somebody goes back and does their damned homework on the campaigns that were good. Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and Bad Company 2 as well. I mean, if we want to get into those, there are a lot of people out there, and myself included, who would argue that is pretty much the pinnacle and peak of the Battlefield campaign series, of the Battlefield series and campaigns, and I kind of agree with that. Some will say Bad Company 2 was peak because of the character development and the wit and the humor and the tightness of the group that was amongst that, but you kind of had that with 4 as well. I mean, in retrospect, I mean, Battlefield 4 to me was probably one of the better campaigns, very close to 3. 3 was pretty good in of itself too. It had some gut punches, and memorable moments as well but like they kind of need to at least get back to where that bar was. They need to get with the good narratives, the overall arcing conflicts and the characters that you have to care about, and not just throwaways and just it's got to take effort, is what it needs, and it needs it badly. I can't say it anymore. I can't say it any more times. It's something that needs to be there, and it needs to be well thought out for it to be appreciated. And if they can knock it out of the park with this one, then again, I mean, that is proving again in light of what a lot of upper management is saying, that players don't want single-player games, which is bullshit. I mean, everybody needs to get that thought out of their heads. I mean, just because a handful of people don't play single-player games does not denote that everybody doesn't play single-player games. I don't fucking play Battle Royale games constantly. Does that mean everybody doesn't play Battle Royale games? Of course not. That's stupid. So, single-player games, it's proven that people want to play them. They invest time in them, time and time again. Stop. That excuse needs to go.
But as regards single player, I'm just like I don't know how the hell we ended up on this conversation, but as soon as we talked about Battlefield 2042, the single player, all that kind of stuff, I'm just like, why did they killed off PAX? Just so dumb.
Damn it! Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a very aggravating thing. Yeah. Why would you do that?
It's such a. Just put more reasons why I hate this fucking game. Anyway, so let's focus on the future. So that was Battlefield 2042, the single player web. Let's focus on the future. So Battlefield Labs, I don't know if this information is really important to you or whatever, but 1.3 million people registered to play the Battlefield Labs playtests. Now, playtests been happening for a really long time because that's how game development works. But you also, if you're local next to studios like DICE Studios, Ripple FX Studios, or whatever the case may be, you can sign up for a playtesting in person, and you just go to the studio and playtest the game and so on, whatever the case may be, right? That happens. That's, you sign an NDA and so on and blah, blah, blah. That's normal. That's normal and so on. So there's people that played the new Battlefield game. That's just obvious. But no invites were sent out to the public yet, to play from home and all that kind of stuff. So that's as far as I know. But 1.3 million people signed up to play test, the game. Granted, majority of them are just there for content, just to see the new game, new fresh game, so on. I want to be the first to play it. That's what majority is. Majority of them don't really care about giving feedback, or like it sounds rough. I know, sounds a bit, defeatist here, whatever. But majority of the people, and they probably sign up with some multiple accounts too, just to have a chance to get in. It's just one of those things that you can't avoid. But 1.3 million.
Wait, hold up. What do you mean that people will sign up en masse to try and play even a snippet of a game early, is almost as if it's like a demo?
Oh my god, I'm so worried that's what's gonna happen. I'm actually worried about Battlefield Labs, that people just got lucky. They will get in and they will think, this game is shit. Oh, this game is great. Oh, this game is Battlefield 2042 what updated, right?
That's what I'm scared here's the thing, and I don't think that's really going to be a thing, because think about it. I mean, are they doing this across consoles? I mean, yes. Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're doing it on consoles. So realistically, let's be real here. Early access builds and everything have become more prolific in this day and age. It's not like it was, 10, 12 years ago, when early access builds were looked at with, as money whores, essentially. That's what everybody used to look at them as. Oh, you're just trying to make a sale real quick and blah blah blah. But no, that's not really the reality of it. Is they're putting the early access build out in order to try and make some money up. This is an independent developer's strategic thing, not a major studio. And I understand the argument back in the day of, like, why are AAA game studios doing this? That's just dumb. They should be able to pay beta testers and everything internally, and I agree with that argument as well. Unfortunately, we've become the beta testers now. It's just a matter of whether we want to pay for the privilege or not, realistically.
Yeah.
So that being said, it would be kind of wild if we would kind of skirt back to the days of demo builds being a thing. because demos were a thing that used to sell games back in the day. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I got into Metal Gear Solid because I happened to get a hold of a CD-ROM that came with a fucking Pizza Hut pizza. That's not a joke. That is a thing that used to be. That was a thing back in the day. I still have those discs.
Demos became event type of things. For example, was it Steam? I forgot what it's called. Steam has this event, right, annually, where developers and publishers post demos of their games for people to play and try. I think one of the some sort of Dark Souls wannabe Pinocchio game that came out last year, I forgot what's it called, was a demo on that Steam thing, and people were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, this is fun." So that's what demos became these days. The demos became like some sort of event, like, "Oh, go on Steam and play these 20, 30 demos from different publishers and all that kind of stuff." So that's what became demos. I mean, I kind of get what you're going for, but they became like a low-key events at this point. I mean, I guess Battlefield Labs could be that, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's the industry's attitude towards them changed completely. It used to be demos were a thing that was a marketing tool that would help kind of hook players on your game. Nowadays, it's viewed as an unnecessary expense and a potential to lose sales because you don't have your shit together when you put that together to put it out. And I mean, I'm gonna be real here. Even back in the day, not every single demo that you would come across was perfect and polished.
Oh, no, never.
No, because I mean, but at the same time, we had this big disclaimer before we even started playing it that said, warning, gameplay is representative of a work in progress, final product may change. And we read that shit and understood that shit so that when the real game came out and we bought it based off of what we figured from the demo, we understood that because we could read. Nowadays, and not that I want to side with developers when developers do that, everybody gets their panties in a wad, and I don't get it. It's like development is telling you that things can change, and to be honest with you, that's a good thing because imagine a world where developers were putting out early access builds and demo builds, and they just didn't give a shit about community feedback, okay, to change the final retail build. What would be the fucking point of putting it out in the first place? If they weren't going to listen to your feedback, they wouldn't have done it. So the people that complained that the early access build was so drastically different from the retail build, I mean, that's a normal thing. That's a good thing. That means that they listened in some respects, or at least attempted to listen and make changes based on what people were telling them based on the feedback from the demo or the early access build. I mean, it's not a bad thing. And I think the people who can't understand that are the reason why that also got killed off as well, because the internet, everybody's got to bitch about something, ironically, as we sit here on a podcast bitching about a franchise.
We're being positive, no?
I mean, we are. But you get what I'm getting. Everybody's got a damned opinion. Everybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Jokes aside, yeah. That's true.
Sitting over here turning it into fucking Bill Burr. Everybody's got a goddamn opinion. You know what I fucking...
You just have to go to a Battlefield subreddit and just see what kind of opinions you can get.
Oh my god, yeah.
But speaking of Battlefield Labs and all that kind of stuff, there's people that actually playtest the game and they actually start leaking shit. So here's some leaks, for example.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Okay, so one, this is not a leak. This is more like observation skills, whatever. So the map they showcased in that Battlefield Labs announcement, so the gameplay footage, someone figured it out is from Egypt, Cairo, I think, the actual capital of Egypt or whatever, because my dude went through so much effort to cherry pick and analyze and everything, the locations, the walls, the streets and everything, and he even showcased like examples like from Google Maps and everything, like, listen, this is how it looks, this is how it's supposed to look, and so on, that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is practically the same but changed for gameplay reasons. My dude went through such analysis this is some autistic power right here. And he figured out that the map is in Egypt, right? And then the leakers, like not the leakers, the people that played the playtest many months before, right? They came out and say, yeah, I remember seeing some pyramids in the background of the map when I was playtesting it. And I'm like, that's hilarious. That's so amazing. Because from the footage they showed,
I envy the hell
From
out
the
of people
footage
who
they
have
show
that
how-
capacity
yeah.
to do that.
from
That is wild.
the footage they show for like 10 seconds, my dude figured out what fucking part of Egypt that is, what part of town it is, and everything. I'm like, oh, it's just so...
Down to the fucking street name,
It-
probably. That is
yeah,
wild.
to
That
the
is,
street
I
level, I'm
have a
like-
lot of envy for people with that superpower.
That's amazing. That's just like so hilarious. But anyway, it's not really news. I'm just more like, what's the word? More like impressed. Just literally congratulating the Battlefield community for being this observant, I guess, this smart, because it's just like
just locked in.
literally
Like,
locked in.
But I mean, you go back and like the Battlefield community are like they're like, goddamn, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego wizards in some fucking senses? Because you remember all the shit that people went through just to get the damn bow unlocked,
Oh yeah.
finding all the dog tags and everything like that. Like the community has like shown time and time again that there's people involved that are just like, and I'm worried like those people have long since gone too now.
No, they have Easter egg hunters. That's the developers still make some Easter eggs, and they figure there's literally that Discord called Easter egg hunters or something like that. I don't know. There's people that still do that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean that makes me happy, but I mean we've proven time and again that we want to figure some shit out. We're gonna figure some shit out.
It's just so fun to your street level and everything, and then confirmation from the player that played the game and everything. So it's funny. But anyway, the map they showcased was in Egypt, and that's all you have to know. It's like I don't care what the map is, as long as the map plays good. That's all I find. That's all I care about. But yeah, anyway, so apparently one of the playtesters that said when he was playtesting it, they launched the game through Battlefield 2042 launcher. So
That's not a surprise.
not a surprise. So people, I remember, I said on the last podcast and I said on the Patreon, it's established. The Battlefield 2042 is the general template for the Frostbite engine now. So whenever you want to make a new game on Frostbite engine, you're gonna get 2042 as your standard basic shit, right? You gotta get your standard animations, standard walking, sprinting, shooting, whatever the case may be. So
all right.
Well-
I'm gonna right here, right now, and this is another thing that I'm saying directly to development. So, if you're going to make a game launcher, a default launcher, you better, and I swear to all that is good and holy in this world, I will sit here and scream to the heavens about your ineptitude and incompetence until the end of time. Put a goddamn tick box in there somewhere as to which game I want to launch by default.
Oh, that's what you mean. No, okay, no. I think Battlefield, this new Battlefield, I don't think it's gonna be like Call of Duty. Like, I don't think it will be. At least not the first 2 years. At least I don't think so.
I have stopped playing Call of Duty because that pissed me off so much.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
not kidding. I have literally stopped playing Call of Duty because I got so sick and tired of Black Ops wanting to launch every time I wanted to play Modern Warfare. It's freaking absurd.
Yeah. You know, back in the day, I know why it happened, but back in the day, when you were playing 3-4 Call of Duties, three different Call of Duties back then, when Warzone was out, you were still able to progress your Battle Pass through all those 3 games. Not anymore. These days, it's only like technically you could progress to your Battle Pass, for example, by playing Modern Warfare 3 while Black Ops is out, right? Back in the day, you could.
Yeah, that don't happen no more.
That's not happening
Battle
anymore.
Pass,
Yeah,
and that's it.
that's not happening anymore. It's only Black Ops and Warzone. which pisses
Another
me off.
reason why I have stopped playing, because I don't want anything to do with Black Ops. And for the people like me, congratulations, Infinity Ward, you've just now fucking you've now just pretty much kicked all of us to the curb.
Not Infinity
Because
Ward. Treyarch.
Treyarch. I'm sorry. Let me get my names right.
Yeah. Infinity Ward has nothing to do with this.
Hey, you fuckers over there, you isolated us by telling me in order to piss off because I didn't want anything to do with your new toy.
You know what? People might disagree, and people are pessimistic for obvious reasons. I'm calling right now. I say on Twitter, Infinity Ward in 2026 will come out with such a banger Call of Duty, and it will revive Warzone. It will make things right. It's not gonna be a while until then. Still more than a year till then. But I think Infinity Ward will.
And then they're gonna rinse and repeat later on with Black Ops once again. Because they can't resist doing it.
I'm sorry. I know this is a Battlefield-related podcast, but I just want to say I really hate Black Ops setting. I hate their aesthetics. I hate everything about Black Ops with passion. Everything about Black Ops.
It's not my cup of tea. It's not even that I hate it. It's just not my cup of tea, and I just don't want anything to do with it. It's that simple.
I just think it's freaking amateurish. But anyway, that's another topic for another day.
Right. Moving along,
moving on.
We're getting to the tail end of this section now.
Yeah, we can do for another 10-15 minutes. I don't mind if you have time. We'll see. Anyway, so the game launched through Battlefield 2042. I mean, that's no news. I don't care. It's whatever, early days. I'm not gonna. I'm more interested in this. Emotes. So, Battlefield will have this new Battlefield game will have emotes. Because the playtester saw emote wheel in the playtest. Now, but there were no emotes. There was no first person. We don't know if it's a first person emotes or third person emotes. I don't know. But
I really hope it's something like that. Okay, the only way this is gonna be, I can't even say acceptable to me because it kind of sounds like an elitist thought process. But at the same time, that's kind of what it is. Like, if it's emotes that are like, hey, throw me some ammo, or get me some cover fire, or pointing, or stuff like that, like, point at all the things, I want that back, yeah. If that is what it's going to be, hell yeah, cool, fine with it. But I don't want to see my medic start doing some damn drop ass shaking dance shit in the middle of a firefight as an emote.
You know what?
I want that.
Okay, you know what? Realistically, okay, so
if my medic gets up and does a dab after reviving me, I'm going to figure out how to just end myself and leave the match immediately. Like, please, God, no.
Ray, you
please,
want to tell
no.
me? Ray, you want to tell me that when I revive your ass, you don't want me to dab on your ass, and as we go back to battle?
No! Hell
I will dab on your ass like it's
dumb.
fucking
Go play Fortnite.
normal.
Go play Fortnite.
Okay, jokes aside. So, for example, going back on Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2019 had emotes, but they had first-person emotes, right? So you had like thumbs up, I don't know, like whatever hand movement you can do with your hand, right? That was the emotes, right? Like thumbs down, thumbs up, or pointing finger or something like that kind of stuff. They had that, right? Just simple emotes you could do with your hands in first person. Like that's what they had.
Yeah.
Black Ops introduced third person emotes. I do not hate the fact that emotes exist. I hate the fact how horribly animated they are. I'm sorry, they're such low quality emotes. I'm like, listen, I don't mind a medic start doing some random dance for no reason at the pre-round. I don't give a damn. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
Oh, okay, yeah. Pre-round and lobby screen, whatever.
Listen,
I don't care either.
I don't care if the soldier just starts
Dab
dancing
away,
on A
motherfucker,
flag.
I don't care.
I don't care if the soldier's dancing on A flag for no reason, just dancing with the friends. Just like, oh look, we can emote and so on. While people are fighting for the objective. You know what?
Okay,
I don't
all
care.
right, hold up. No, hold on. I rescind a little bit of my opinion. All right, fine. If we want to include that, then by all means, I will make it a point in order to send a long-range bullet through somebody somebody's skull who's doing that on a flag.
So you see a guy emoting on the flag, and you just snipe him to shear him. It's just like that's funny.
Yeah. All right, fine. You could be if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough, I guess.
Yeah, that's funny. So that's fine. I just don't want. You know what? Here's the thing. Even if this licensed emotes, like with licensed music, like it doesn't have to be music. For example, like I think we talked about it, right? I can't remember. It was maybe a brainstorm episode or whatever. I just remember it was like, oh, imagine your soul just whips out a radio and just puts on the ground or something and starts dancing, right? I mean, it's not like real life soldiers will not do that anyway, right?
Not in the middle of a firefight.
Well, depends.
I mean, how badly do you want to get court-martialed, Marine?
Oh, I'm just saying. I saw Spider-Man shooting Russians in the Ukraine war. Just saying.
Okay, that's...
I'm just saying. I saw cat ears. I saw a Santa Claus shooting rockets from a jet. I saw something else. I don't remember now. Oh, anime AK.
If you're trying to tell me that Ukraine is like real-life PUBG right now, I'm going to have some problems with that. And I'm sure Smoke are going to have some problems with that, too. So let's not go down that road right now.
I'm just saying, it happens. And... For example,
I fucking and to be honest with you, I've seen it. I'm not. I mean, I watch war videos on Reddit. I know, but still.
Yeah. For example, people complain, "Oh, we don't want any anime in the game." Listen, the anime is the modern pin art these days on military vehicles. It's
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong seeing Hatsune Miku on a tank or something like that. That's normal, kinda. Because back in the day, World War II, whatever, there was no anime, well, at least on the west side. It was like beautiful women.
There wasn't much in the west. It was pinups.
Pinups and the beautiful women, all that kind of stuff, And these days, it's anime girls, or whatever the case may be, because, people...
Everybody has a waifu.
Yeah, everyone gets a waifu, Everyone gets a complimentary waifu or their gun. So that's why people say, like, oh, we don't want anime in Battlefield game. I'm like, yeah, but that's modern pin art these days. Like,
yeah, it's a little too late. But, I mean, I guess if that... whatever then, I guess. Get them, join them, hand me my pink fuzzy Neko ears and let me go shooteth thy noobs.
Yeah. Hey there listener, me again. Sorry for interrupting you again, but if you're already this deep in this episode, I presume you enjoy our conversations. So why not check out our older episodes after you're done with this one?
Don't be a doobie.
Do a podcast of sort, right? We had some amazing conversations that are still relevant to this day, and we don't want you to miss them out. If you haven't already, go listen to our interview with big content creator you probably know, Westy for example, who was more than willing to have a conversation with us about Battlefield.
But then when you've got Angel screaming, "Angel does it again," and that was something, right? That was something. But you know what I mean? Like, the two didn't work. Like, you could have done specialists.
Or our recent interview with former DICE developer James Kono, who shared some amazing behind-the-scenes developer perspective on Battlefield franchise.
Listen to this podcast. It's awesome. I love Lanky. He's been a great resource to the Battlefield community for years now.
You're the only person that actually gave any compliment to me about anything regarding that. Long story short, we have some amazing episodes that are worth listening, and we're just happy that you're enjoying our discussions about Battlefield. And again, I want to thank you for listening, and please enjoy the rest of the discussion we're having right now. There was also leaks about classes. So we already established the classes, what they have so far, which is for 4 classes, which is Assault, Engineer, Support, and Recon. So that's the classes they have. So right now, it was not leaked, more like announced or sent in an email by EA. It was like a survey, which class you prefer and so on, right? And there were 4 classes, and this were the 4 classes. And Medic was basically combined into Support. So that's what they have so far. But apparently there were discussions, or still happening discussions. I will not be surprised if the discussions are still happening. Maybe maybe there'll be 7 classes. This is why I think they should not do too many classes. I think 7 classes is too much. Unless each class refers to, like, I don't know, a tank driver, or a commander, or something like that, right? Something specific, unless that's what they refer to classes. But us having 7 classes in the game, or even 6 in this matter, let's say, I don't think they should go more than 4 classes. Honestly, what's your opinion about that?
No, I think they should keep it with the classic 4.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
vehicle pilot, vehicle driver, maybe as a 5th, but I mean, I get the arguments in some years that it's like, well, no, you shouldn't be able to carry a full recon kit if you're flying a jet, because think about it, how are you fitting that in the cockpit? You're not. Air Force pilots can barely fit an M16 in there as an emergency weapon, and if you look at the emergency weapon that they carry, it's not even really it's not a full M16.
Counter argument: how do you shove an RPG in there?
Go, thank you. Give me a deployable radio and all the rest of the shit. Like, think of a recon kit alone, or even a support kit. Okay, cool. Now how you carrying a med bag or an ammo bag in that damn thing? I mean, you'll have an IFAK on you for your own usage, possibly as a pilot, and a survival kit. I mean, maybe we could think about that. Same thing with the tank crew. You just have tank crew as the class. Maybe that's you have that one with a different type of repair tool. Maybe it's a better repair tool than what the standard engineer is. If you're gonna go that route, then you have to allow like differences in those classes so that when, let's say, they eject or they have to leave, that they're not completely useless on the ground, but they're not. You know what I mean? They're not carrying stuff that they realistically shouldn't be carrying. You know, I could...
Unless there's around the map, there's like ammo stations where you can change your class or something like that.
Resupply ports and resupply stations, places where you can change your class, like that. I would accept that again. Like the vehicle stations and shit. I accept that coming back. Danger Cow's been tweeting a lot about how he doesn't want infinite ammo in vehicles and stuff, and I agree. Battlefield 1 kind of changed the vehicle gameplay. What you want infinite ammo?
Yeah, because we had attrition type of thing in Battlefield 5, and it was terrible. It was not fun.
All right, you couldn't repair the vehicle up to a certain point.
That too, and you had limited ammo and so on, and just going back to the base, it was such a slog, and it was not fun. I don't think, listen, I understand why people think it's a good idea, but, my dudes, go play Battlefield 5. Try to be good in a tank. You'll be annoyed in the first 20 minutes 5 minutes. You will not have fun. And if that type of gameplay is fun to you, I'm sorry, you're playing the wrong game. I'm sorry.
I mean, in one argument, I could understand where it's taking the arcadiness out of it, and I kind of agree with that. But
it just need that. Listen, it doesn't make sense for a tank to have limited ammo and go back to the base to refill every 3-4 minutes because you shot all your shells, while infantry can get their RPGs so fucking quickly with just one support guy.
Right, yeah, that's where the arcadiness comes in for the game, for the franchise as you know, as a whole. So I don't know, man. That's kind of a hard. It's kind of a hard line in order to put there. I mean, yeah. See, that's where you're. Yeah.
Listen, if it was harder for infantry to get their arm, listen, if we're crossing that territory, right, that where.
I get where you're getting at. I get where you're going to go with this. Like, if we're going to do for one, we should do for all, and infantry shouldn't be able to resupply as damn quickly, too.
And if we do that, people will complain that the game is too slow and not fun. Suddenly it feels like a mill sim.
No, it's not even that it's slow. It's you've just completely changed the game more into a mill sim than what it should be.
And it's suddenly what is it, right? Sure, make it as a LTM, like, limited time mode where we play for 2 weeks. We have a special event, Milsim event or something like that. That's fine.
Just call it hardcore.
Oh,
really pissing people off.
Yeah.
You want to deal with it? You want that? Go play hardcore.
Here you go. Yeah, you go. We fixed the Battlefield problems. Here you go.
Hardcore could become Milsim. I couldn't see why not if we're gonna get. But I mean, then now you're talking about like changing damage models and how you can heal and how much you can heal and all this other stuff. And now you're talking about almost making a whole nother mode, a whole nother game
Portal
for one mode.
Portal mode exists. It's there. Use it.
Again, you got to be able to make it so that those things can be changed. Can you change how much a player could heal up to a certain percentage?
Yes.
Oh, well, then again, I mean, it's all going to fall down on how much in tools that we're going to be given in order to be able to customize the servers. So again, if that's the case, and people are like, "Well, I don't want tanks to be able to have infinite ammo," all right, cool. Then just make it a setting in the server settings.
I heard an interesting conversation about this when I was listening to a conversation about the Battlefield Portal, right? And certain people said Portal is dumb, but Portal will be great if you limit the options what people can do with Portal. I'm like, no, you're missing the point where Portal exists in the first place. It's not the content. Like, they were talking, it should be like Battlefield 4 where you can set settings and so on, like, central...
They want pro-con level, yeah.
Which is, fine. That's fine. I get that. But that's not Portal. That's not the point of Portal. The point of Portal is to give us the tools to make something that we want that is not the vanilla game, basically. We don't, people don't want, I'm sorry, I have to disagree with that opinion. Remove the options for the Battlefield Portal players to make anything they want. Listen, don't get me wrong. I understand where they're coming from, because they're afraid it's gonna ruin the main game, because people's gonna start creating XP servers like it happened when the game came out. When Battlefield 2042 came out, people started XP grind servers, right? Just shoot, yeah.
Big deal, though. That's a thing that's gonna happen.
But Battlefield a year later, they finally figured out how to do it. So they've I think it was a ripple effect. They added some limitations, not to the idea that you can make anything, not limitations to the tools, but limitations on how you gain XP. So if you add, then I don't remember what was the terms, but if you add bots, that basically reduces the XP or something like that by half, I think, or whatever the case may be. So they implement mitigations to make sure it doesn't happen ever again. So if they can do those mitigations again, when the new game is going to come out, it will have Portal tools available for us to use, and they have those mitigations to make sure that people don't abuse it, I see no problem. And Battlefield Portal created...
I'll speak to the opposite side of the argument on that while we're on this subject. Here's my argument on it, all right? And I say this about anybody when it comes to pay to win games and shit like that too. If the player wants to just blaze through everything, get to the end, and then complain that there's no content, is that the developer's fault? Is it the developer's fault when it's offered for a player in order to just buy their way through the entirety of the game, and now they've unlocked everything, and now they're sitting there complaining they have nothing to do? Is that the developer's fault as well? To me, it sounds more like a problem with player impulse control, not to sound like a parent, but it's the God's honest truth. If I'm going to sit and I'm going to take and spend a day and I'm going to hop on a server and I'm going to grind my way XP-wise through all of the levels, all of the things, get all of the shit unlocked in one match right then and there, and then my further subsequential games afterwards, I am constantly complaining that I have nothing else to do but unlock attachments and skins or other stupid stuff, whose fault is that really? Honestly, I'm at the point right now where I just look at people at development right now and go, don't even bother with it. Just let them do it. If they want to do it and do it, that's their own problem. That's not your problem to try and waste time and energy and development time to mitigate something that is essentially, at the end of the day, again, poor impulse control on somebody else's part. It's not development's job in order to police that shit. It's not. Period. It's really not.
I agree with you, but at the same time, with DICE or Ripple Effect, whoever's making this, there needs to be some policing, because there's some bad actors, and those. The
only way that becomes a problem is if for some reason the end game content is just so stupidly overpowered and unbalanced. Then to me that becomes a problem on development's terms. But if it's just like, all right, let's use Battlefield 4 for example, okay? Really, some of the most powered guns in the game you got in vanilla. Okay? AN-94, I do believe, was one of the most OP guns in the fucking game because of that 2-shot burst that it had, or am I thinking of a different gun?
Some gun.
So one of the guns, it was one of the guns that had 2-shot burst, and if you put a suppressor on that and you knew what you were doing, it was Headshot City, it was overpowered as fuck, and everybody and their mother ran it. That was, I'm pretty sure, one of the base guns. So if I sat and just played on an XP server in Battlefield 4 real quick on a fresh account and unlocked everything in one day, is that a problem? Because I'm not going to be stupidly overpowered.
I think
I'm just going to have more shit.
For example, the way I see it, let's say this Battlefield game has prestiging, let's say. And before everyone lose their shit, oh, is this Call of Duty? Battlefield Hardline had prestige. Before we continue. I learned that by listening to our podcast. The OG, Battlefield 1 Archive podcast. That's how I remembered that Battlefield Hardline has prestiging. So, it's in the Battlefield game. So, it's not a new concept. That being said, let's say it has prestiging. Or some camo grind. Special mastery camos for weapons or whatever. Right? I don't think it's fair for the players that play the game normally. It kind of devalues the camo itself, or the excitement, or the prestiging, the whatever the case may be, whatever the end goal is, right? We're not talking about guns or vehicles, whatever the case may be. I think it kind of devalues the content itself. For example, Modern Warfare 3. Amazing game. I think it's an amazing Call of Duty game. The camos and everything, chef's kiss. Everything, all the events they did, amazing. But as time went on and they were releasing cool camos, cool stuff and so on, it kind of devalued the vanilla content in the long run. So the mastery camo you have for your guns that took you like a month to finish, to like, oh yeah, I finished this mastery camo and so on, it took me a month to get. Now you can do some event that they doing, you get a cool camo that is much cooler, so much cooler than your mastery camo. You're like, you forget about the mastery camo, and you're thinking, why the fuck I even wasted a month to unlocking this shit?
All right. I will counter that real quick right now. Okay. You have two people. Both want to get to the top of Mount Everest. One person elects to climb. The other person rents a helicopter. At the end of the day, which act do you personally is going to feel is going to carry more self-merit and make you value what you earned than the other? Is it climbing it and overcoming the challenges in order to actually get there, or cheating your way through it in order to get it in a superficially cheesy way? Because at the end of the day, both acts end with you getting to the top of Mount Everest. So you technically did, both parties did logically technically do the thing, but the person who took the time and the energy and the effort in order to learn how to climb and survive and camp and get their ass up there and all that other stuff, when they get up there, that victory is going to be far more sweeter than the person who just hopped out of a helicopter, planted a flag, and went, did it! Hopped back in and went off for some hot cocoa down at the lodge.
Climbing is
that's
more
another
fun.
thing right there. I just shot that to shit too. If
well,
if you're going to
climbing
superficially get it and take out the value yourself, that's again your problem.
Climbing is more fun, but helicopter is much safer. So
if that's how you're if that's how you're thinking it, then by all means, again, that's on you. For me, for some shit, it's not the reward. It's not the reward. That's the reward. It's the journey itself. That's the reward. Some games are very good at making challenges and progression like that. So, and I mean, in some cases, it's kind of disappointing, but I mean, think about it. Like, think of some of the dumb shit that we do just for what, a fucking hat or a pair of ears or a different color for our gun. I mean, think about some of the challenges and shit we did in Battlefield 4 in order to get guns. Some of the shit was just absurdly stupid. But when you finally got that shit, even if you cheesed it in some cases, when you finally got it, the victory was fucking sweet. So it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it still boils down to how you personally view it.
For me personally, I kind of stopped giving a shit about, the personal achievements in games. For me, for example, when it comes to content, like, camos or prestige and whatever, for me, it's mostly, I don't really care how I get, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I am in a state where my character is, like, when my gun looks cool, like the way I want to make it look cool, where my everything I need to perform at best is unlocked, all that kind of stuff, like, you know. And after all that is done, I will take the easiest. Like, listen, if there was a
meta you can take in order to get it, you know, path of least resistance. That's how human beings work.
You know what? Yeah, I'm sorry, you can shoot me, people, but I will use those XP servers to unlock whatever I need, so I can actually play the game later. So enjoy the adventure, right? Because
there, you just said it. For example, you just said it.
Yeah,
the E word right there. As long as what you're doing in order to get the thing, as long as you enjoy doing it, you personally, as the person who paid for the thing and did the thing to get it your own way, as long as you got your sense of enjoyment out of it, that's really all that fucking matters. It does not matter that the other guy hopped into a server real quick and got it. Because I'll tell you right now how many people would set up specific servers just to find the damn dog tags to get the bow. Again, in order to bring that back. Was that cheating? No, nobody viewed that as cheating. Nobody did. So if you're going to say that shit, you've got to draw a line somewhere. So again, I don't see a problem with it at all. If people want to do it, let them do it. If they get enjoyment out of it, let them do it. So what? Stop being Karens about what other people are doing. Period.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah. If you pay for the game, you play the game the way you want it. Like, and in a sense, I have to agree that it's mostly publishers or developers putting roadblocks for people, like, to get the playtime as maximum as possible, you know, from the player. So there's that. There's also that. But at the end of the day, I kind of
want... If the game is good, the player will find ways to maximize their own damn playtime.
At the end of the day, for me, what keeps games alive... I was actually talking to Materia a couple of days ago. She was watching me play Warzone as she was sitting next to me, as she was reading something. And she asked me, how can you play Warzone so much, right? Because she said, like, oh, we play Fortnite so much, I also get bored of Fortnite. Like, here's the thing. Yes, she's right. I do, like everyone else, I do get bored of games playing non-stop. But what games alive for me is the idea that there's some sort of comparative spirit in it, some sort of. So the reason I love Warzone is not... Yes, I enjoy... Like, listen, Warzone right now is fucking shit in so many different ways. But it still has that formula in it, what made Warzone great in the first place, right? So it's a battle royale with your loadouts and everything and so on, and it has that formula that makes it fun, and it's really satisfying at the end to win, you know, a Warzone match, right? A lot of people don't get that excitement that often. Like, they're happy just to get one victory in 1 month, right? That kind of stuff. Like, a lot of people are like that. I still enjoy a Warzone victory because I know what it takes for a casual, normal player to even get one win. It takes a lot of effort. So that's what keeps the game going for me. It's like the competitive spirit. The reason, for example, I don't play any Battlefield game right now, is because it has nothing there for me in competitive spirit. Yeah, people just have, you know, people trying to win the game, capture flags, you know, win the match and so on. But that means nothing in the long term for me. It's like whatever, right? I have 2,500 hours in Battlefield 4 alone. You know, I already did that. No Battlefield game to me is exciting to me in the long term because there's nothing for me to play for. So, for example, a new Battlefield game is coming out.
We've done all of the things. We did just about everything there was to do in BF4, and then it. But it happens. But again, that still falls back on the same argument that if there's potential there for fun to be had and the fan base and the community sees it and the developers give the community the tools in order to further refine it to their own tastes and those tastes catch on, longevity is achieved. And it's done with very little effort on development's part. The thing is you've got to have your finger on the pulse of what the community wants as far as community development tools is what it would be considered to change server settings around so that you could have that. If it finds that there's a whole huge niche of Milsim players and there's like fucking 80,000 of them and they want to constantly play on a handful of servers with certain maps and certain settings and set up that way, then why would you deprive those people of that enjoyment? Let them do it. And, as long as they're alongside everybody else, they're playing the same game, who cares?
Listen, I think these people play the wrong game, but if the options are there, the tools are there, and it can make them that perfect Battlefield game they want, you know what? Sure, have fun, whatever. It helps the publisher, they buy the game, they play the game, maybe they buy skins, fuck knows.
They're still going to want to get skins and DLCs and shit, yeah.
Yeah, fuck knows, right?
You're giving them something that's letting them cater it to what they want to do. And even if we want to go so far as to, have changes to what gun versions and shit were going on. Like, I mean, the more options you're going to give a community, the better chances you're going to have in order to allow those communities in order to grow. I mean, Battlefield 4, again, with the level of customization that Pro-Con Tools allowed everyone in order to have, it was the thing that it still to this day allows that game to keep going. Yeah. That needs to be a thing that needs to come back. And I know that some developers, and I know a lot of people in upper management and shit, look at that as a detrimental thing, but it's not. They're buying your product and they're getting enjoyment out of it. That's what it's accomplishing. It's doing what it set out to do. Why would you essentially, cut its leg off?
Yeah, that's why I disagree with that. How this whole conversation started in the first place. I saw a conversation people having like, "Oh, Battlefield Portal should not have the tools for players. They should limit the tools and should have like pro-con settings only." I'm like,
no, the absolute opposite.
That's the whole purpose of Portal is to make anything you want. That's the point, It's not part. And people say like, "Oh, if Battlefield Portal is coming back, what's the point? Why bring okay, sure, what kind of maps they bring? You don't need to bring the maps back with Portal. You don't have to. You can have Portal on the normal vanilla maps that new Battlefield will have, and just use the tools to make something. That's the thing. That's why Portal is amazing."
The huge question that I ask is for these people that want to complain about this a lot is like, are you just not reading the server rules before you get in?
That too, yeah. Well, people say like, "Oh,
every server I jump into is Metro 24/7." Are you reading the title and seeing that it says Metro 24/7?
It also they say it splits the player base and so on. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather them have
fun.
Which
in a way it does, but again, at the same time, people are still enjoying it. So what?
It's fine. You know what? It's 64 players. We can fill a server. It's fine. Like, I don't think if from 10,000 people, 3,000 people or 4,000 people go play some weird ass milsim Battlefield Portal mode. It's fine. Whatever. So what? I still can play with other 5,000 people and play normal Battlefield game the way DICE and Ripple Effect, Motive, and Criterion designed. I still can play that game just fine with no problems, because that's what I want to play, and that feels more rewarding than whatever they're playing. But who cares? They're having fun. I'm not gonna judge them for that, as long as they don't come to me and saying, "Why are you playing that fucking garbage? Go play our shit. Our shit is better." Like, then go fuck yourself. If it comes to that, yeah, sure, I will fight back. But if you're in your corner quietly, not making a noise, and you're just playing and having fun with friends or whatever the case may be when you're Milsim Battlefield, that's fine by me. I don't care. You bought the game, you play whatever you want, you have fun. That's the most important thing. Video games are supposed to be fun, and you make that fun for you. I'm excited, for example, the Battle Royale section of Battlefield. I'm really interested how the Battlefield Royale, whatever you want to call it, is gonna be. I'm really curious, because I'm like, sure, I'm gonna play Conquest and everything, I'm gonna have fun, but when Battle Royale is gonna come out, I was just like, I guess that's the competitive spirit. Meaning that it will
allow that to have robust changes.
And they will change that and so on. Keep updating.
Have weapon sets be allowed customizable, and what can be picked up on the ground, and what allow that to be a thing. So then, because like competitive leagues and shit sprout up around that.
Yep. And just the existence.
You gotta give the community more options.
And the existence of Portal creates that idea that, hey, you can make a competitive league. Speaking of, you should go to patreon.com/TheLankySoldier, where I talked about exactly that. For like 20 minutes.
Subtle plug is subtle.
Not even subtle. You should go and listen, because I had such an interesting idea about Battlefield League. But whatever, go listen. But yeah, that's the thing. Battlefield Portal is such an amazing thing, and I don't think we both agree Battlefield Portal existence is an amazing thing for Battlefield. It keeps the multiplayer somewhat more alive and active, for whatever reason. And for me, it's gonna be, the tools that to make my games much interesting. And imagine if they have
just that, we could allow filming servers to exist once again.
That
where
too.
We can film content and stuff. That's a big thing that needs to come back. We've been screeching and screaming about it too. That definitely needs to come back.
Yep.
Allow the community content to be a thing. Like, stop. I said it before when we were talking about this the last time. The last 3 games now, because they completely just cut off the ability to actually film and do other content in that game, I think was a big other kneecap for this game as far as communities go.
I know you can film in Portal, but it's a bit like a trickery thing. That's the thing. So
that's the thing. It shouldn't be that way.
It should not be a trickery thing.
Battlefield 4 was not like a huge thing that required a lot of effort in order to film in. You basically just needed tater mode, turn the damned HUD off, and off you went. That was it. It was easy.
I fully agree that it should not have trickery. It should be just there from the get-go, ready to go. You know, it's like, here's your camera. Use it wherever you want. Here's some tools on top.
You know, you want to do some lens changes, or you want to set up different cameras and film and record. You know, do that. Allow there to be such a thing.
Battlefield 1 was amazing. Last time I remember, Battlefield 1 had some amazing tools. Well, amazing. And amazing enough, it's basic enough, and someone extra on top. It had some filters and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. Simple stuff like that. I think I had a FOE slider too in the settings too, like just stuff like that.
It doesn't need to be. It's not something that needs to be ridiculously robust,
exactly.
Because
just,
that's what video editing software is for. But still,
just basic shit.
So that being said, I do think we're creeping on a little bit on the long side on the tooth.
Yeah, there was this topic where David Stern mentioned about cherry picking the best stuff from each Battlefield game. I was thinking we're going to talk about that, but I'm going to leave it for the next podcast, and let's see what's going to happen in the next week or two. See if we can. If there's nothing happening, sure, we're going to discuss that topic. But anyway, David Stern said that they will try to cherry pick the best things from each Battlefield game and so on. And when I say cherry pick, a lot of people will have different things what makes each Battlefield game great. So that's also an interesting discussion. So if nothing's happening in the next week or two, we can discuss that. And Ray probably will have his PC by then. Maybe we can play Battlefield 2042. We can do our retrospective of that one. But yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. So I'm just going to say this. Thank you guys for listening to our conversations and everything. Patreon.com/TheLikeASoldier, where we have amazing episodes, amazing stuff we discuss. 40 plus episodes, some behind the scenes, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, you want to do the outro, Ray? I mean, I got nothing else.
Sure, why not? Hey, I mean, if you guys hung around for this long, thank you very much. We appreciate the support as always, and we appreciate you for being Patreon supporters if you are one. This is why we do what we do, it because you guys listen. We don't just like screaming off into a void, although some days it certainly feels like it. So that being said, come around for the next time. You know when it's going to be. You know where to find us. You know all of our socials. So share about, like and subscribe. Leave some feedback.
Use the Google Forms document. Follow us on social media.
There you go.
Google Forms what did I say? Google Forms document. Yeah, I did say it. Yeah. What? Anyway, just check out the description of this episode. Everything is there for you. Everything is there.
That being said, we thank you very much for your time. Well, we're not going to keep you for much longer. So, good night, everybody.